Ray Leonardo B. Guerrero. Risk Management Office and the National Contact Point of NCEN Philippines, Ms. Jemke Flor S. Sakar. The Director Yogi Filimon Ruiz of the Enforcement and Security Service. Chief of Environmental Protection and Compliance Division, Mr. Paul Ditona. The Head of External Affairs, Attorney Marieta D. Zamorano. Attorney Leon P. Mogo Jr. of Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service. May I remind everyone to please observe minimum health protocols throughout the program and kindly keep your cameras on and your screen on. Thank you. At this juncture, to provide the introduction of NCEN and its updates, may we call on the Chief of Risk Management Office and the National Contact Point of NCEN in the Philippines, Ms. Jemke Flor Sakar.
On behalf of the customs officers present in today's NCEN launching, we thank the WCO Customs Enforcement Network Program Manager, Ms. Agnieszka Butrin-Yelatka, for gracing this momentous event in the Philippine Bureau of Customs. Indeed, data sharing through NCEN and CEN Global will surely pose greater impact to our daily operations and capacities in the intelligence and enforcement. I would also like to recognize the relentless effort of our Commissioner in promoting the National Customs Enforcement Network to aid in strengthening our enforcement and intelligence capabilities, the supervision of our Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence Group, and the commitment of our customs officers to be part of it. NCEN and Global CEN data will aid us in further developing our countermeasures, and other forms of customs, ultimately helping us with our mission credible intelligence and generate accurate analysis that significantly contribute to the quality of service the Philippine Bureau of Customs provide to our nation and global counterparts. With that being said, allow me to present the early wins in the establishment of the National Customs Enforcement Network in the Philippines as part of the Bureau's roadmap to improve its risk management. May I request everyone to focus their attention on the screen for a video presentation.
Customs administrations around the world play a vital role in the fight against transnational crime. To enable its members to combat these crimes more effectively, the WCO has developed the Customs Enforcement Network, a global system for gathering data and information for intelligence purposes. This application acts as a central depository of enforcement-related information provided by all WCO members. The CEN suite has grown to include standalone applications such as the CENCOM and the National Customs Enforcement Network, a system that allows customs to collect and store information on seizure and suspects at the national level, with additional capability to exchange this information at regional and international level. The Philippines is one of the first countries in the Asia-Pacific to adopt the NCEN. Trainings for customs officers were conducted to bring them knowledge about the system. To provide clear guidelines on its utilization, a customs order was issued to define the roles of different customs offices in the management of the NCEN databases. The Seizure and Suspicion Database. The Philippine Bureau of Customs remains steadfast in its mandate to secure the national borders and protect the citizens from dangerous goods and other forms of illicit trade. Significant information in these cases, helpful for intelligence analysis, are all uploaded in the Philippine NCEN. These data are set to be submitted to the Global Customs Enforcement Network to support other customs authorities in their intelligence and enforcement operations against smuggling and related crimes in their country. This achievement of the Bureau of Customs symbolizes our commitment to the World Customs Organization and to the Filipinos, a modernized and credible customs administration that is among the world's best.
Thank you very much for the concise briefing about the NCEN and encapsulating its milestones so far, Ms. Takar, and as well to the team behind the very comprehensive video presentation. At this juncture, to provide this message for today's event, may I give the floor to the Commissioner of the Philippine Bureau of Customs, Commissioner Ray Leonardo B. Guerrero.
To our esteemed guest, Ms. Agnes Ilatco, the Senior Technical Officer and Program Manager of the Customs Enforcement Network of the World Customs Organization, and to the officers of the Philippine Bureau of Customs, good afternoon. The global launching of the National Customs Enforcement Network in our Customs Administration today marks our global contribution to the customs enforcement community, which shall also guarantee continuous flow of quality intelligence data shared among all WCO members. The NCEN, which allow users to store and mine data on seizures, offenses, and other enforcement-related information, will further strengthen the border control capabilities of the Philippine Bureau of Customs, as these information are vital in defining strategies, preparing risk indicators, and identifying trends applied in enforcement. Through the presented guidelines on the utilization of the NCEN, particularly defining the role of each and every office, the network ensures a constant and viable system of collection and storage of law enforcement information on a national level. We are in high hopes that this system launching, along with other BOC modernization projects, will empower us to deliver our commitment to adopt global best practices through continuous collaboration with the Customs Enforcement Network and the World Customs Organization. To the World Customs Organization, represented by Ms. Agnes Vilatco, our gratitude for your continuing support to the Philippine Bureau of Customs. Again, good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Guerrero. We are with you in modernizing customs administration and ensuring that NCEN complies with international standards and best practices. This program will not be complete without a message from the World Customs Organization, who developed the NCEN system. So let us now shift our screens to our dear guest, the Senior Technical Officer and Program Manager of World Customs Organization, Customs Enforcement Network, Ms. Agnieszka Butrin-Bilatka.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Commissioner, Mr. Ray Leonardo Guerrero, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. I would like to begin my opening remarks by expressing my great pleasure to participate as a representative of the WCO in this virtual launching of the national NCEN in the Philippines. With the COVID pandemic impacting the world, our workplace and ways of cooperating have changed. We see throughout the customs domain and push toward digitalization, not only in terms of the customs procedure, but also in terms of the daily cooperation with all stakeholders involved in the border management. As a key partner, the WCO Secretariat remains at the disposal of our members during the COVID crisis, putting forward new initiatives and promoting our IT tools, which assist customs with their digitalization efforts. As many of you know, the NCEN project was established in 2007 in response to the need of some members for an application gathering enforcement data. The first version of the software has been completed in 2012, and the first deployment started in 2013. Since then, we managed to spread NCEN across all 6 WCO regions with 50 countries using applications so far. The NCEN is, as you know, also a complex application, giving members more than just data collection mechanism. There is an investigation component, an analysis component, and a communication component for boosting national, but also regional and international cooperation. This is just a few of features which the NCEN offers to customs administration. Today, the interest of the enforcement officers in the NCEN goes beyond risk analysis towards profiling and targeting of suspects, companies, and method of conveyance. The current version of the NCEN contains basic data analytics functionality, such as automated searches on the new data and matching rules that allow users to identify connection between data elements in the application. New release of the NCEN are launched regularly through the automatic update manager component in the application, making new version available to users throughout the world quickly hopefully without an additional strain on the national IT resources. The technological advancement of the NCEN has been driven directly by the NCEN users from the beginning of the project. The WCO is currently finalizing the development of an additional person database. It will be the 4th module of the databases in the NCEN. We are also working on a simplified input form for seizures, offering you the possibility to enter a minimum data for a specific category of the cases, where there is no unusual modus operandi or there is no need for you to capture detailed risk indicators or information, for example, about the cover load. There is one additional development which I'm really glad to announce to you today, as this development was initiated by colleagues from the Philippines. During one of our virtual meetings with the customs officers involved in the NCEN project, we discussed an idea of loading the NCEN cases through an offline component, since many customs officers do not always have access to the PC station with the Wi-Fi. Your colleagues shared with me an Excel template which they started to develop to help the local NCEN users to load the data while offline. And looking at this great idea, the WCO consulted this with other NCEN countries, and with their full support, we have managed to found and begin the development of desktop application, which will be available for you this summer. And I'm really grateful for this, because this request, everybody was talking that it's sometimes difficult to use the NCEN online. But with your kind of suggestions, idea, we managed to have this, and I believe that all NCEN countries, and not only on NCEN countries, but also global NCEN users will benefit from this new development thanks to you. This example clearly shows that success of the NCEN program relies on each and every one of us, users. Your suggestions are the ones that make NCEN a user-friendly application, efficient in the support of national risk management process. Whenever we are talking about the NCEN program and users buy-in, we cannot forget about the regional NCEN meetings, which now take place in 4 out of 6 WCO regions. The last meeting for the Asia-Pacific region was organized in December 22. Despite the difficult COVID situation, we were able to meet virtually thanks to Sri Lanka Customs, who organized the meeting. Now, the region is led by the Fiji Customs, nominated as the regional NCEN leader. The third regional NCEN program leader meetings for Asia Pacific is planned for the second half of this year. All of the 50 NCEN countries form the NCEN Global Network, which keeps on growing in importance as more countries implement the application. Currently, we are finalizing NCEN deployment in Mongolia, bringing the total number of NCEN countries in Asia Pacific only up to the 8. The NCEN is also being integrated in the strategic plans of administration as a much needed step in order to guarantee an adequate level of support for the implementation program at the national level and assignment of necessary resources to the programs. From our side, we are determined at the WCO to work hard to implement the measures required to ensure the continued success of the NCEN program and continued utility to the members. We are pleased also to announce that the WCO Trade Facilitation Program in middle-income countries would be happy to consider support of any NCEN activities to be planned in the Philippines customs in the future. As I conclude my remarks, I would like to wish you success with the launch of the NCEN application in the Philippines. And I do hope that in a few months, we will hear many stories about the successful investigations built with the support of the NCEN and significant seizures made based on the profile streaming from the data captured in your local NCEN. It has been always my pleasure working together with all of you during the process of launching of the NCEN. So now I can wish you only more success, and I'm sure we will stay in the regular contact as we are planning additional training. So thank you very much for your attention and wish you all the best with the NCEN implementation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the encouraging words, Ms. Biladka. Truly, the Philippine Bureau of Customs is grateful for the immense support we are getting from the WCO. At this juncture, as we formally end our program today, we would like to express our utmost gratitude to everyone for joining us in this momentous event. This is a product of our hard work, and this wouldn't be possible without collaboration. We are hand in hand as we aim for greater heights for NCEN, both in national and international levels. Thank you, everyone, and please stay safe. And before we close this event, may I request